for that. I want to welcome in Jenny Horne, markets correspondent and co-host of Next Gen, to take a closer look at Home Depot. Jenny, first off, let's start out with, good morning, I should say, and let's start out with some of the numbers that you are paying most attention to in this report.
A lot to like. As you mentioned, we saw actually some positive, trends on a year-over-year basis. One being the fact that fourth quarter same-store sales rose around 0.8% year over year. That was better than consensus actually was calling for around a 1.5% decrease. And also quarterly sales came in slightly above analyst expectations at around $39.7 billion. Estimates were around $39.2 billion. Adjusted earnings per share also did top at around $3.13 a share. So Home Depot shares were down at least this morning after hours, but they did say they remained pretty steadfast in their investments across strategic initiatives to position themselves for this continued success. Now, for guidance, they did give guidance for sales growth of 2.8%. Same-store sales growth, at least positive. They guided for about 1% growth, and they said that they anticipate adjusted earnings per share to drop by about 2%, and they also could see, right now that would total around 15.24 billion versus estimates at around 15.65. So all that being said, they did also announce a 2.2% dividend increase, which is typically seen as a point of strength. And again, this was, a stock that has now risen about 2% on a 12-month basis. So it's definitely underperformed when you look at the broader market. But I think that these numbers do give some degree of encouragement. I think that given the anticipated recovery of Home Depot, was it enough when you're still giving some negative forward-looking outlook, especially in regard to earnings? Perhaps not. But actually, we've bounced back pretty substantially here. So I was seeing down 2%. We're now actually slightly higher, at least based on pre-market actually this morning, Dan.
Yeah, it looks like we'll continue to watch how this moves, especially given that the earnings call starts at 9 a.m. Eastern. So we're just under an hour away from their earnings call. And we know that that can often move the needle on how shares react. What else stood out to you in terms of strength? I know one of the challenges, obviously the comps look good, especially when you look at how they've been performing quarter after quarter after quarter. So it looks like there is somewhat of some recovery there. What stood out to you in terms of where there was strength?
So there was still strength in the home improvement projects, which is something that caught my eye, frankly, because I am a fixer-upper myself. I love to do a good home improvement project, so I've spent a ton of money at Home Depot doing so. So this was true to my heart, but their CFO did say actually they saw strength in categories like appliances and tools, where they made investments to increase their delivery speed, as well as strength related to certain pro categories like roofing, drywall, but the larger home projects, including categories like flooring, all still remained under pressure. So a bit of a mixed picture, but some of the areas in terms of home improvement actually were better than expected. So higher than anticipated sales in the latest quarter owed largely to these home improvement projects hopefully gaining some more ground. So an area after my own heart, I did notice that, especially because the Home Depot does also cater a bit more towards the pro business, and that seems like it's on okay footing. I wouldn't say necessarily operating from a point of strength, but hopefully seeing, again, a continual recovery.
Yeah, certainly seems that case. And, I think one of the other things that stood out to me is just the talk from their CFO about the consumer adjusting to this, where rates are and this higher for a longer kind of picture. And so maybe there is some resumption of projects that homeowners had put off for now. And we'll see how that plays out as they talk more about it on the earnings call. Jenny Horne, thanks a ton for the breakdown on Home Depot earnings.